Yeah, let's get started, I think, with the official program. There we go. Yeah, so welcome everybody and thanks for joining. And the agenda for today is pretty straightforward. Some updates on the work groups and as well on the tasks and reward. And after that, we'll have room for open topics/ideas. And does anybody have anything to add to the agenda right now? Maybe later.
Deep funding just came out with a blog post that is interesting to share, and the governance meetings are happening. Discussions are getting more focused. So maybe that is a topic we can share later.
Definitely, yeah, we can touch on it. We can check out the blog post. Yeah, cool. Yeah, let's for now park it under the open topics and first cover the work groups a little bit. Let's see on the podcast to start off with. The Monday and Friday meetings are ongoing on Discord. I guess easiest would be Julian for you to share. Pretty much like a status update, if possible.
Sure, yeah. Actually, I just posted our first official episode interview with Patrick Gutev of Museverse. He's one of the deep funding round one winners. Really exciting project and about VR and basically bringing music into VR, into a specific metaverse called Somnium Space, but he has plans to branch it out into many different ones eventually. So yeah, that was just posted on my channel. And I mean, I'm just new to editing, so it's rough around the edges. The first interview was done on Zoom with like a free account, so it was done in 720p. Not the best quality in the world, but as a result of that interview, I decided to invest in some actually high quality podcast software, which I'm using from here on out in my second interview that I've already done. That's also already edited and ready to go, but we're going to hold that one because we want to have some sort of cadence for the episode releases. But that's
my name is Julian.
It's called Riverside.fm, and it's been really good. I mean, it's not cheap, but you can do really high quality videos and post them. And we have actually Tevo and I actually did a stream with it, so it's pretty versatile. You can do streams with it, you can do recordings of yourself, you can do interviews, posting them later. It's a really great service so far. I've only had it for like the last month and a half, but yeah, so expect better, higher quality production value bar from the second episode going forward. This first episode was like, when I edited it ended up putting it into I just posted it in the chat, actually. I think is that it. Sure, I'll just make sure I did it again. For some reason the actual the screen or the thumbnail that I use is not showing up right, but it's got a different thumbnail in there where it says a title, and it's a full screen version. But if you go into there, you'll see it actually bordered, because of the fact it was such low resolution. It ended up ordering it, so it's a little bit weird, but I think the content is good. It ended up being a pretty good interview, I think, because I'm so interested in VR and music that it was like I didn't even have to, like, it was just right there, because I mean, I'm already in those kind of communities, so I didn't really have to reach for figuring out. Now the second interview with Kenrick, that was a whole nother ballgame, but that was really interesting too, because that was a much bigger challenge for me, but I still think that turned out well, but it's going to be completely different, a lot more technical, talk. So, but I think it's still really interesting what they're doing as well. So yeah, you can check that out on my channel, post it in the chat there, and give me feedback on what you guys think, because I'm completely new to, never done podcasting before. I've never done interviews, never done editing, never done anything like this at all ever. So this is all brand new. And I would encourage any sort of constructive criticism, because I really could use it. I just don't know what I'm doing that well. I'm trying to do the best I can, and it's good enough for now. But I think like what Jan said, has said to me a couple of times, is it'll get better. And 50 episodes in or whatever, like it's just gonna naturally get better from doing it. But I do, if you have specific things that you notice, don't feel bad. Tell me the truth. Let me know what you're thinking, because otherwise, yeah, I need it. I mean, otherwise I won't get better. Or I won't get better in that thing, perhaps. I mean, maybe we would disagree and I'd still decide to do the thing the same way, but I'm sure I have blind spots with certain things. And so that's that. So yeah, I've just been focusing a lot on editing those down and, putting in intros, and not knowing how to edit. Was taking me a long time. Me and Tevo actually did a live stream the other day about reacting to AI YouTube videos. That was posted on our channel, and I believe he's been doing some work with an editor on the Swarm side. He fine-tuned it down into a shorter, like 10-minute video. So that's also on my channel there. So yeah, we've been doing some work. I'm in talks of doing some more interviews here soon. And so yeah, we'll be just moving right along. I feel like we've kind of hit a stride where, like, I was finally comfortable of saying, okay, let's get this out. These have been around. We don't want to wait any longer. And so we're hoping that we hit our stride. And so that's exciting, obviously, because we've been working on it for a couple months, trying to get everything together. And so it's nice to finally see some real product at the end of it.
Absolutely. And for me, I had a little sneak preview, but it was very hard to give constructive feedback, because I was just thinking like, damn, you're a natural. That's amazing. It was really, yeah.
I mean, the one thing I will say about myself is I've probably listened to I'm obsessed with podcasts. I've been listening to podcasts for like the last 7 or 8 years religiously. So it's in the back of my subconscious kind of thing. So if anything that helps me, it's that. But it's definitely, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's natural. It's just that I'm really interested, like probably my best and my worst qualities. I'm interested in like a million different things. So I don't always focus on one thing, but I just wish I had 1,000 lives, because I'm super interested in like dozens of different things. And I think that's really all it takes to have a podcast that's interesting, is just have somebody that's interested talking to people that they're interested in, having an interesting conversation that is meaningful to them. I think that is what I get from podcasts that I like, that I think the best ones to me are that. So that's just what I'm trying to pull from. But thanks, I really appreciate it. I was wondering kind of how this would go, and it's definitely intimidating. Never, doing an interview before, and then all of a sudden I'm interviewing 2 CEOs that I really respect. I mean, it's an amazing opportunity, but it's definitely daunting. But I'm glad that I like attempted it and I put my best foot forward, and it's good to see that it's at least at a passable level where I can say, okay, we can start here and build.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious to see. I mean, naturally, over time, things will improve. That's to be expected. So yeah, curious to see where that will go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm loving it. I've been wanting to do a podcast for a long time. I just really love the format. I just think it's so interesting, and I always wanted to do one, and I'm glad I bought equipment over years and years, slowly just getting everything ready, and I'm just glad I'm finally actually doing it. And even learning the editing, I was wondering, am I actually gonna like this nitty-gritty part of it? But even just doing the little editing, like I like it. I like creating. I play music. I'm interested in creation. So I think it's just like, I don't know. It's just fun to create for me. So thanks.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I just see, Architect hopped on for a little bit, but also hopped off before I could welcome him. Okay, well, maybe maybe he hops back on. We'll see. So let's see. I think, yeah, basically if people want to help out and join in, the Monday and Friday meetings would be the place to be, right?
Yep, that's what we're sticking with for right now, and that may change. And I'll certainly let people know in the community podcast Discord if any changes happen. But at this point, that's what we're sticking with.
All right, perfect. Ooh, I just see Felix popping in the chat with the ranking. That's decent. Damn, nice. Apparently we had the Swarm and SNet proposal at Catalyst got a 4.57 out of 5 ranking. Great stuff. That's
4.56.
Yep.
But really nice because it's
that's, yeah, definitely, but yeah, looking good. I think if I'm correct, the voting was starting September 5th, maybe? Because I think it got pushed back a little bit more, right? Yeah, September 5th. Okay, cool. Let's. I'll make sure to amplify like a madman on all the SNet channels. Yeah, fair. Sure, it could be September 12th. Who knows? Cool. All right, then I'll move quickly
And,
to the.
I guess the final thing is we're in talks with Mindplex about potentially posting some of that there. Mindplex is just getting ready to get everything going with their own podcast, and we're in talks with Connor over there about potentially, maybe posting some stuff there once they get rolling. So I'll keep you posted on how that ends up going.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, cool. All right. I'll hop on to the. Let's see, to the. Yes, on the translations. It's yeah, it's a topic which still is relevant. I feel on quality control. Yeah, there hasn't been a proper fix for making sure the verifications are properly verifying and yeah, in a way I don't want to spend too much time speaking about this because we touch on the subject every now and then already. But yeah, it does feel like something which is just, yeah, not fixed yet.
So the problem is you're not getting people to actually verify the translations at this point. You're only getting the translations in.
No, not so much. It's just there were a couple of translations where native speakers indicated that the translation was still not good.
Oh, okay.
They were verified, so yeah, by design the assumption is like, well, the translation has been verified, so good to go. It's good. And then yeah, I cannot read the language, so it's hard to check. And then to get feedback that it's still not optimal, that's yeah, tricky. I haven't figured out properly how to deal with that yet. But it might be better to take it outside of this call, because I do feel we discussed this quite a bit already. And
I was gonna say, if it's helpful, just because I haven't, I don't know, like, I'm just wondering if there's like a third party person, like basically having a second translation verification. Maybe would that be useful if maybe there was a way to get these people that are saying this isn't correct, getting them some coins or something to be able to check it as like a third, or as like a second wall of defense for quality? Would that be?
I wouldn't be against that too much, I don't think.
Well, I think the verification task is, if we're giving tokens for that, I think it should be, the tokens are there for the job to be done right. So
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I guess, are you having the same person verify that's not that these other people are saying that this same person is verifying it wrong multiple times, or?
I don't think it's an issue within any individual person. It's just the fact that we don't currently have a system in place of doing any kind of check that those who are verifying are native speakers and are to do that.
Stand by the last weekend, statement also, with the idea of, I think the approach here has been perhaps a bit wrong, as we expect to translate blogs without knowing who is the audience. But if we would have an audience saying that we would like to read that blog in Italian or Russian or the known language, then we would already automatically have the verifier as of, this makes sense. And then we know that we also have the audience, and perhaps these people who are looking for, when he is looking for that blog post in that language, he might, or he or she might herself know where to find more of these people who are interested in that translation. So I think maybe there is a place which we need to do a bit of outreach research or market research of where are these pockets of people who are even listening or reading these translations, and then we support them to get them the content the way they are happy.
Yeah, fair. Something we could employ for this is basically local Telegram groups. We do have the we do have Telegram groups for all the languages that we're currently covering. And then a question in chat: is it that much important to translate in other languages? Nowadays, I guess people are more interested in watching content in animated styles. Yeah. Well, I mean, if we could get every of our blog posts into animated video, that would be awesome. I would really like that. However, resource-wise, I don't see that happening yet, let's say.
But that still wouldn't help the fact that if they don't, I mean, even if it was in video form, if they can't understand the language, how would that change anything? Is there a translation method through any, like, YouTube or anything? Maybe through captions, they might. I've never.
Yeah, some of them are okay, but some of them are also really shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, native content creators. Yeah, yeah.
Question also, if you say, okay, if you want to translate, mostly when you say, okay, how global do you want to have your community? Because when you say, for example, okay, you have some nice animations and all the stuff, for people which are not so familiar with English but really want to get involved, they will read through whatever white papers they get available in their language. So I think translation somehow anyway is really important if you want to build a global and inclusive community, where you are then able as well to onboard highest potential from a lot of different languages, not only the English one.
Yeah, well, we can't build an AGI just for the US or Europe or Asia, or yeah, by definition, that's very much global, I would say.
I mean, is there? So basically, you're having the issue of someone's translating it wrong, and then someone's verifying it as being right when it's wrong, and it's just wrong all the way through, basically, or to some extent.
Well, yeah, well, to be completely accurate, I didn't get like a report saying like, well, this has 4 sentences wrong, and this is like, it wasn't that detailed, and that would be something to dive a little bit deeper in, perhaps.
Because I mean, I don't know if the only thing I can think of now is if you had some sort of verified person that knows the language, that you could verify them first of all, and then when kind of getting more and more complicated, but having someone that could check people when they come in and do a couple, have someone that's able to check the person translating through a few times and see, like, is this person actually translating right, and is this person verifying, are they verifying right? You could like have some sort of checks and balances before you
I think
actually let them start doing it.
I guess it's related to the approach that we've taken so far in our ambassador program, whereas it's open to anyone right now to select tasks, whereas other ambassador programs go through a much more structured process where it's almost like you're applying for a job. So you have an interview, produce some credentials and examples of your work. So if you were applying to be a translator, you would be producing examples of translation works in the language and etc. But we haven't. So because we haven't taken that approach, it's kind of a bit more tricky when you are just leaving it wide open to anyone. So I guess it's how do we kind of maybe there's a middle way. I don't know. I don't think we want to go down the route of full-on interviewing and lots of bureaucracy and all that stuff. So.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what Tabo and Felix were saying about building up the communities, and maybe that gives us a steer for the ambassador program as well, if that kind of something we could be doing, is trying to kind of, I guess, establish those language communities, or kind of gauge the demand, how many people in those communities are interested in SingularityNET, like to see stuff being translated.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I guess it's a bit of an ongoing topic, and like Felix suggested, to get in touch with the Latin America community on Cardano's side, having a translator group. Perhaps they've got some pointers. So, yeah, we should definitely reach out and connect.
Maybe what we established through the past year is the different town halls. So Eastern Town Hall, which is in Japanese, Vietnamese, Indonesian, English, then the Latin Town Hall, which is in Portuguese, Spanish, Africa Town Hall, EU Town Hall. Now we have the Middle East Town Hall coming up as well. And most of all of the Town Hall teams, they are independent teams, and all of the projects built by people on the ground. So people who live in the country, speak the language, are familiar with the culture and all. And they work all with the same tools and same concepts. And maybe what would be helpful is to maybe schedule a call 1-2 people from each of the town halls introducing SingularityNET and say, hey, cool, for example, hey, we need translation support. Can you jump in for QA, for example? So to present already SingularityNET to them all together, and then to say, cool, with this network, we directly can stream a lot of experience already. And because all of them, they are very experienced and trusted community members in Cardano already. So, and they definitely have the capacity, I'd say.
Yeah, fair. I do think. Yeah, in a way, I don't want to just knock on their door saying like, "Yo, we need translations, and you guys are translating for Cardano. Please also help us translate." I would, in the best case scenario, let's say. Yeah, I would love that to emerge more organically. At the same time, yeah, Tifo, it's like you say as well. Like they are already picking up tasks, definitely.
Yeah, it might not be so much just going straight to them and asking to translate, but I think it's interesting to know where the Cardano non-English language community groups are. Where are they, and which ones, what languages? Because those communities in Cardano are probably kind of naturally going to be interested in SingularityNET. Well, so that might give us a pointer to where we would want to develop our own, say, Latin American SingularityNET community, where we'd want to be translating stuff for them.
Yeah, that's smart, I think. And I was also thinking that YouTube, I know they do give diagnostics, or they give like location-based information at a certain point. You guys probably should have access to it, where they'll actually say what countries everyone is listening to the videos from, which I know YouTube for SingularityNet's only a small section of the entire social community everywhere. I know Telegram is really huge and stuff like that. I don't know if they have that. Not very familiar with Telegram, but I know YouTube does give you location information as to where your viewers are coming from.
Yeah, I'm checking it right now. The top subtitle languages would be Portuguese, French, Spanish, Russian, Chinese. And that kind of is the source for the languages I chose. So yeah, I do think demand-wise, it's okay.
Yeah, I think probably half the job is doing the translations, but the other half is actually getting them out to those communities so that they're not just yeah, it's fine to have them up, but we also, we need to do the work. Also getting them out there and making sure those communities are aware that they exist.
All right. Yeah, let's perhaps park the topic for now. I do agree on the distribution and actively promoting the efforts we put into translating to have its effect. But I also don't want to spend the full meeting for the what is it, 22 minutes remaining to. I feel we can talk about this for hours without actually fixing it, but yeah, some good pointers there. Any final remarks on the topic before we move on to with the agenda?
Parky, choo choo.
All right. Then on the Process Guild, there have been no meetings so far for this week, and also last week as well. And I think, and part of that is, we were struggling to find a proper time slot to have this, and then it kind of got burdened, and AGI 22 happened, and here we are, pretty much. I think I'll do just like Jan did on the community governance, voting on topics. I think I'll just shoot out a couple of time slots, and hopefully people respond when they would be available. I'll do that straight after the meeting. Okay, let's move one slide. Yeah, this is going to be a relatively quick one. There's a bunch of additional articles which are in need of translation, so they will pop up on DWork and therefore on Discord. So keep an eye open if you're interested in helping out. Then something I figured out we could perhaps play around with. I wanted to check in basically with the town hall. I figured the subreddit, SingularityNET subreddit, could use a bit of a boost. So perhaps we could. Yeah, it's a bit tricky to turn it into concrete tasks. So I figured perhaps we can just have, if there's people interested, we can have people posting content there, and then if you, let's say on DWork, I didn't make the task yet, but could make it on DWork, and then people could just apply for it, and then perhaps comment with their username, so I know who's who. And then my idea so far was to perhaps do in a kind of hindsight way, like looking back at the previous month, and then distribute some rewards based on activity, because it feels a little bit weird to, put tokens per piece of content posted or something like that. So, I was wondering, basically what you guys think about it. Is it something we should even pursue?
Understand. So idea is for entire next month, for example, people just share posts about the SingularityNET in the subreddit, and then at the end of month, basically we like have an ambassador call or like a off meeting where we just go over what was shared, what was the feedback, what if there was a feedback, and basically lessons learned, and then we use that meeting to divvy up or basically just think of how we share this 2000 AJAX amongst all the people who posted and connected their post with DWork.
Yeah, broadly speaking, yes. First of all, this 2000 is just a random number, which is not it can be any number, basically. And I think basically what I realized, like the subreddit is not that active, and we do have a lot of content coming out, so I figured, well, perhaps we can get ambassadors to actively post the content we're putting out there already, and then post it on that Reddit. And I didn't quite figure out a proper way of like it doesn't feel like it would be an actual work group of people posting things on Reddit, but maybe that's a fix. And that's why I just figured like this divvying up in hindsight based on activity could make sense. But also, I just wanted to check in on the idea at all. Like, if you all feel like, well, no, this is not something we should spend ambassador program tokens on, we don't have to. It's just an idea.
Sounds like a free money to me and a good idea, but I'm not much about the poster, so anybody who hears this or sees this town hall, I think there's an opportunity here for you.
Yeah, I really like Reddit, and I think it's a really cool place, to be honest. I like it a lot better than a lot of the other social platforms, and I don't use it as much as I'd like. So yeah, it'd be cool to see more content there. I think it's a good idea.
I happen to know of an interview which maybe should go on there.
Yeah, that's true. We could. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Might as well, you know.
It's a pretty big one. It's 12K members. So
Oh wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I definitely am down to, because I was thinking about where obviously we don't want to post. I don't want to be annoying with the posting, but yeah, if there's a community where it makes sense like that, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool.
Okay, so I guess what could make sense then is for me to put it a bit more into words like this one sentence, and then perhaps over the coming days we could basically just discuss it on Discord, or if let's say Friday, if I manage to squish in a Process Guild meeting, maybe that could be discussed as well.
There you will get a task and understanding how it flows through a teamwork. So I think it will help.
Yeah, fair. And it would be pretty experimental. I mean, yeah, like if it doesn't generate any interest or it doesn't have much effect or nobody does it, it's all good. But I do feel there's quite a bit of potential there left out, and feels like it's somewhat decent fit for ambassadors to engage with.
Yeah, definitely let me know how we can go about posting the video just for starters, and yeah, I can put that in there immediately.
You mean how to post it on the subreddit?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it just I literally don't use Reddit that often. I can just, if I'm in the community, I can just post a video, no problem.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Cool.
it.
There we go then.
I'll put the link in the
Yeah.
event chat.
If I remember Reddit, I think all my posts always been like getting automatically filtered because I don't use Reddit and you need some karma, I think, before the post. Although all my posts also has been allowed by the moderators, at least on the Cardano side. So that's so they have active people. So maybe in this cycle it's the same way that people who are very new to Reddit, but they like don't mind experimenting with this incentive which is given from us or from Twitter again. That when you post and you get stuck by the barriers of Reddit, then message in Discord and Peter will hopefully solve it or find the person who has the power to sway the barriers.
Yep. I personally, right now, I don't have an admin account there. But yeah, that should be no problem. All right. Yeah, like I said, I'll write it out in a bit more words than these 10 words on the sheet, and we can adjust as needed. My monitor for the recording stopped. Anyway, yeah, and then on the final thing on this slide would be the rewards to be sent. I think it will be Friday, practically speaking. Just because Thursday is both stupidly busy and my birthday, so I don't think I'll manage on Thursday. Yay. Yeah, so yeah, just a heads up. Expect those on probably on Friday. Then I believe we get pretty close to the last sheet. Yes. Which would be the open round. Let's start off because I did ask before this meeting. I did ask Architect if he would be willing to share a little bit on the biomimicry, both the channel and the plans there. So let's see, we've got 10 more minutes remaining, and at the beginning we also did mention the deep funding block to touch on that. Perhaps we can split the 10 minutes for 5 on both. So Architect, if you're here, feel free to take the stage.
Thank you. Well, status update. I'm trying to compile the last piece of the introduction of biomimicry familiarization slide pack. And I have actually some inputs in the topic in the channel, and it's very interesting. It's kind of such level that is maybe perhaps will show up later in the educational sequence, if you understand. And so it's some engagement in the channel. I like that, and so well, that was a short version.
So if I understand it correctly, basically the way for people to join in on the fun would be to read up on the channel and basically join the conversation, correct?
Yeah. Please DM me as well. It's okay. Some people have done that, so it's no problem. I love the wheel of engagement.
Awesome. Yeah, good stuff. I'm curious to see. Basically, the way I understood it, the next thing on the list, let's say, would be pretty introductory content, right? On the education side of things.
Yeah, correct. That's what I'm looking for, kind of introduction for the community in the topic. And but it's gonna be where I got some input that was related more to application of that. So this is deep discussion. So this will kind of going down the line. So it's well, this is gonna be interesting. This.
Yeah, awesome. Looking forward. Any questions there? And if not, I think... Yeah, thanks. Then we can hop over to the deep funding blog post. Let me grab that. Yeah, well, not sure how to approach this. I'm not looking to read out the whole blog post because it's quite a, it's a big one.
Well, big highlighters. Our the teams, round 1 contracts and milestones are public, and there is a portal for that. participation survey exists, so we can ask from community what you think of what's happening, I guess. What is the title of your project? What do you accomplished? Ah, no, it's a participant survey of the people who was a part of the T funding and what they think about this process. So if you're interested joining in T funding and you're not sure if it's the right place, you can hear it first from the winners themselves, how they felt about the process, and it's a good starting point. There's a financial perspective and a bit of a treasury, where how was voted, where money kind of went and how it's used, I guess. Need to look deeply to know exact details. It shares about teams' progress on different, featuring 3, oh, okay, there is actually 11 projects which is sharing. Probably it has links to videos, and yes, it does. Yep. So you can check it out if another closed door. No, I killed it. I killed my document. I don't know what's else now.
Basically, for every of the 11 projects, there's a couple of sentences on the progress. On the, just a high-level overview. For some specifying some needs, for some submitted a video presentation, for example, ZRush did, which is linked in there. And then after it covered all the projects and on a high level, it goes on to the deep funding processes and next steps. Looking back a bit on the voting analysis, and then slowly transitioning into the next upcoming thing, which is a governance experiment. Basically, everybody's very welcome to join in on that. There will be a goal which is happening tomorrow on 16 UTC, so Wednesday, August 31st on 16 UTC. Basically, if you're interested in joining in, and basically, it's like the article says, like helping prepare the rules and conditions of the experiment. We'll have a community governance meeting on this, and after that, basically you can create a proposal for a question which we can put under community vote. So let's say, for example, like we should change the numbers of the two pools we had in round 1. Like there was one capped out at 40k USD value, and one at 150k. So a question could be like, we should change this. Should we change this into, I don't know, one for 10k and one for 100k, something like that. The idea is to then gather a whole bunch of proposals for questions, and then filter those down to the best, most important, most relevant questions, which will then be eventually put to vote by the community, by the AGIX token holders. That's pretty much the short version of it. And as the document says, as the blog post says, more details will emerge after the call tomorrow. So if you're interested in joining in on that fun, then do join tomorrow. Then there's a section on the survey results among the awarded teams. Basically the feedback is very, very positive. Like the ratings are, I think the average was a 9 out of 10. So yeah, people are generally speaking pretty happy. Something that was requested was a bit more support and collaboration going on between the other teams and also from SingularityNET side. Yeah, and we will have a, I think, bi-weekly call with the teams to facilitate this collaboration. I think that pretty much sums it up. Yeah, it does. And when I was reading that, I missed Architect hopping off. So yeah, I think that the main call out there is to do join tomorrow if you're interested in yeah, in influencing how deep funding is working and how it will work the next round.
Indeed.
The remarkable thing with this is really that it somehow defines the, how could you call it, SIP, SingularityNET Improvement Proposal for DeepFund? Where the community already in a very early stage are able to define the parameters of DeepFund itself. So it's not the SingularityNet folks who have to decide it. It's the community then who can figure out, okay, how can we participate in this governance process? And this is really beautiful. Doesn't exist in Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think so far we've not been formalizing it as SIPs.
Just the title which came into the mindset. What is this actually? When you look on it.
Yeah, it is what it is. True. It's. I mean, that's also why it's. It aligns very well with the deep funding values of decentralization and participation in governance. So, yeah, that's what I love about deep funding. Just to have the space to experiment with this type of topics.
Crowdfunding decision making, but in a way that, yeah, well, I think this is what it is, but now the question is who is in the lead of making the final decision, and when that person in that position is thinking about decentralizing and giving opportunity to others to learn from their choices or their stances they take, that is where the innovations come from. So we are in a lucky state where the community cares and the people who are trying to build the dream innovation fund that we got connected and we are working towards now. But then the people stuff come together because there is so much philosophical and philosophical decisions we have to do, because every single parameter is a scale of something and we may not know what it is yet or how it impacts the rest of the parameters. So it's a nice journey to do it together and analytically and slowly kind of put that together.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the clock, we are a bit over time. It's right on time to welcome Major DeFi to the call. I think thanks for joining, but it is kind of towards the end of the call.
No, just right there on the right time. You have a DeFi in your name. Did you look at the Singularity updates too? Oh, we actually, this is Ambassador, we should share it. the new documents about how the AI is learning and how it has like proven to work on some like minutes and some hours, and like what's the difference of making a sentiment analysis and using that for the SingularityNET like pegs. That is cool. And since you have a DeFi in your name, maybe you know something about that too and want to share about. In any case, I share that. that update was interesting, and I had to watch it in normal speed, not 2 weeks like I usually do, just to make a mental note of okay, this is how it works.
You might mean the YouTube content.
Yeah, that was on YouTube.
I think that's taken from the AGI 22 then, right? Let me.
I don't know. I didn't see it under that agenda, but it may have been a clip from cut 10 from there.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. The causal analysis of generic time series data.
My name is Anton Kaloni,
for market
and
prediction.
I'm going to present
Yes.
our work on causal analysis of generic time series.
Yeah, that's part of
market prediction.
of the let's see,
Is to provide the causal
to say it
analytics
correctly,
framework for
Friday
prediction
sessions
work
of
and to provide
AGI
predictions
22.
for pri-
Yeah, that's
In any
yeah.
case, that was nice. I liked that content, like thinking about the way AI can just take over that overall, that process of like why I don't like trading is the fact that you always have to kind of learn and stay up to date with all the trends and sentiment, and it just as soon as you stop, you kind of lose your edge, and it's not a skill you can kind of go on just like because you did that, you laid the groundwork, you know, it's easier. It doesn't really is. It always market change, and that I feel like that's annoying. Like I'd rather have built something which is used, and when like circumstances change, I still have the skill set to kind of apply it on the new conditions. And with trading, I feel like it's more exhausting and complicated. But when I do it, and then it's like, ooh, nice, beautiful. I like the data. I trust you. Let's do more.
Yeah, let's say I fully agree on not being able to watch it at 2 speed because it's complex. But it's cool. Let's see. I think it's getting close to wrap-up time. Any final thoughts or questions to share? Anybody? All right. Yeah, then I would like to thank everybody for attending. Great stuff. And I hope you'll take the time to click on Discord on preferences for time slots on Process Guild meeting. Yeah, I think we should be able to squeeze in this week. Let's see. Thanks a lot, everybody.